Yeah, welcome back. Good one there. Welcome back from that musical break. Of course, it's no news anymore that Good Morning Cross River Thursday edition brings you health all the way and wealth by extension. I'm joined on the show right now by a lifestyle expert, and we're going to be talking about one drink too many. I guess you would love to be a part of that. It's good to have you on the show, Mr. Clement.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Clement is from Asupo Diagnostics and Medical Center. So let's get started. What do we need to know first about one drink too many, and why the caption? How did you coin that?
Okay, one drink too many, as it were, it's all about alcoholism. And alcoholism, it's a disease. It's a kind of disease whereby people or someone is addicted to drinking, or someone is alcohol dependent. Normally, or physically, emotionally, you're supposed to be dependent on yourself, but when it comes to a level whereby before you can do anything physically, before you can get your stability, emotional stability, you have to get to take alcohol. When someone gets to that kind of stage, we say the person is an alcoholic, and such a kind of problem is called alcoholism. So one drink too many is, to a very large extent, people say, look, alcohol is not bad for me because I can just take one drink. But before you know it, the person takes two, the person takes 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
and the person says, look, it's only people who take just different kinds of drinks that is the problem. As long as you have your brand, you are good, you know.
Okay, so there are always excuses made up for different things.
Of course.
And then maybe at some point the person says, it's only if you take more than a crate a day that is a problem.
Yes, there is a problem.
You know, so as long as it's just one crate.
Yes, it's not about that. And normally, you know, you take everything, we've always said, everything should be done in moderation. So the motive behind your drinking is very key. What is the motive for drinking? Do you drink because you just wanted to drink for fun? Or do you drink because you actually have a problem you're trying to get rid of? So the motive is actually very important, because it is the motive that eventually influences the abuse of alcohol.
Okay, I've heard people say, because of my profession, I just think I need to do this. It helps to relax me. You know, the stress is just so much, and then at the end of the day, maybe just a shot or two would do. How about that?
That's a wrong motive to drink. If you want to drink, you can drink to relax, maybe just for fun. And that way, studies have shown that when you have such motive, you are not tempted to drink in excessive. You know, but when the motive is you have a problem, we call it problem drinking. You have a problem and you want to actually take care of that problem. Maybe you are stressed and you want to take care of that stress, then you decide to take alcohol. Before you know what's going on, you're already taking 2, 3, 6, 5 bottles, you know, in order for you to. And there's something about alcohol. You start building a level of tolerance for the alcohol. And after a while, someone who takes about 3 bottles will not feel satisfied until it goes to 10 bottles, 20 bottles. And now the person becomes so addicted to alcohol before getting a proper stability. Okay,
I know that this does not just happen if there's a motive behind. I know that even those who drink alcohol for leisure could actually decide to go 10, 12 bottles and a whole lot of that. So what are we saying here? Are we saying that the motive behind the leisure drinking? Because like you said, if you're just drinking it for fun, then it's probably not a problem. And I'm wondering how we strike that balance.
Okay, now we're not actually dwelling, you know, this one drink too many, we're not dwelling much on the quantity now, because a lot of people say, look, quantity is not a problem, you know, it's about having different brands. But you don't get to be in a position where you take so much of alcohol if the motive is right. It is when the motive is wrong, then you're tempted. Now, taking excessive or in quantity is still very bad. You know, to take in excessive is still very bad. But when you just drink that, look, I just feel like, you know, for example, now, you feel thirsty and you just take a bottle of Coke and you're okay, you know. But when you are in a kind of in a state of anxiety, you're in a very moody stage, and you just feel you want to take, you can end up taking like 10 bottles of Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola, for example, is not alcoholic, but because of the motive, the position you found yourself, you can abuse it. So abuse, it's in numbers. Abuse is in numbers, but the motive is actually what drives such abuse.
Okay, now talking about addictions here, because I know addictions are not just with alcoholism.
Yes.
How do these things actually come to be?
Now, a lot of things can influence becoming alcoholic. The first is if someone has a kind of family history of alcoholism, there's a tendency that someone down the line will eventually get to have this craving for alcohol. That's number one. Now, number two is the environmental influence. Environmental influence, the upbringing of the child, how the child is brought up, the psyche of the child. You know, he has watched how his or her father, his uncle usually resolve issues or crises, you know, by indulging in alcohol. So, and this child grew into that and became what he is. So, environmental factor and upbringing is very, very key. Then, peer pressure is also important. It's another factor. The kind of friends, the company you keep, you know, it's also very important, because if you have friends that take a lot of beer, you, with time, over the time,
definitely.
you know, you also get influenced. And you know, in some settings where you don't take alcohol and you have friends who take alcohol, they make you feel you are not man enough, you know.
Okay.
Those
so you
kind
keep
of
feeling
things. It
left
plays
out,
on
and
your
then you
psyche.
just have to.
Yes, it plays on your psyche. Then before you know it, and you start taking. Then after a while, you now start taking alone.
Okay.
You know, those are some of the problems. When you observe that you now start taking alcohol alone, or matters, other important matters are no longer of importance to you. You know, when you're talking about your career, you don't feel concerned anymore. You're talking about your family, your responsibility, you don't feel concerned anymore. Your priority now became just to take alcohol, just to get alcohol, you know.
Okay.
Even if you can afford it, you have to talk to someone to buy it for you.
So alcohol now becomes a getaway and a consolation for all your issues and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And you know, some people actually tell you a little bit of alcohol is good for the heart. So they say,
yes,
as in red wine or something.
Yes.
So it's okay to take a little bit, which is good for the heart.
More, you know, I've heard a lot of things. People tell me, oh yeah, red wine is very good because it helps the heart and all that. And then I tell them, are you also aware that watermelon is also good for the heart? Then they keep quiet. So the reason is, you are saying that, okay, the reason why you're taking alcohol because it's good for your heart. I can tell you 10 more things
that are good for your
very
heart
good
as
for
well.
and naturally and completely safe. Because when you take alcohol, yes, it has a good part. It also has a negative side effect. No, people don't say, oh, don't criticize me, don't judge me.
All right.
So if you want to bring someone out of it, you don't have to be judgmental. You understand?
You just have to take it step by
You have to
step,
take
and
it
then
step by
it's
step
eventually
and
done.
make them see reasons constructively why they are damaging the implications on their organs, their various organs, their kidney, their liver, and all that. I believe with a kind of mutual reasoning, they will get to say, okay, they have to start withdrawing.
Okay, so let's just say in a nutshell that alcohol is no consolation for anyone. You just need to get it right. Okay. Good morning, Cross River Thursday continues very shortly. Stay with us.